Hello, Alyssa. Hello, everybody watching this. Thanks for being here. I am Heidi Ayarbi, and I am the author of Compulsion. And I'm going to be answering a couple of questions for Alyssa. This is my very first time using a webcam, which will probably be obvious throughout the course of this interview. So I'm doing the best I can. Bear with me. I created Compulsion. I wrote is about Jake. A 17-year-old who is living with obsessive compulsive disorder. And writing about somebody who lives with an anxiety disorder took a lot of time and took a lot of research. And most of my research was done going to OCD forums, reading, and I'm very fortunate in that I have a good friend who trusted me with her story as she struggles with OCD and has lived with it for probably about 20-25 years now. So during the course of this novel, every time I would write something, she was a great person to go to talk to say, would this be a reasonable reaction? Because when you don't suffer from OCD and you don't have an anxiety disorder, it's sometimes hard to gauge what can set you off or what can set your character off. So I owe so much of my book to my friend Lisa, in that she trusted me with her story, and she trusted that I would treat her story with respect and compassion. And even though Jake's OCD is totally different from hers and actually has nothing to do with how she lives her life, I don't think I could have written as strong a story if it weren't for her help, and I'm just really grateful for that. It was inevitable. The zombies have come, and they've zombified 3 of our favorite soccer players. But don't worry, because I'm going to create the team of the 3 best players to defeat the zombified world domination team. Because if they don't beat them, we're all screwed. Okay. 1. First guy. Zidane. Zidane. Who would not want Zidane on this team? Not only is he one of the best soccer players to ever grace the field, but in 2006, the famous headbutt in the final game between France and Italy. We need some kind of massive headbutt power. Two, Higuita. We think Brendan Fraser is good in The Scorpion King. He wasn't even in The Scorpion King. What am I talking about? What's his name? The Rock. Dude. We have El Escorpión de Higuita. On September 6th, 1995, minute 22, Colombia versus England, Higuita blocks a shot. Not by just catching it like most goalies would do, but he does the scorpion in front of hundreds of thousands of fans who went incredibly, insanely mad, and he became famous for the Escorpión de Higuita. My husband was there. He saw it. I'm not kidding. He saw that. That's soccer history in the making. So when we formed this team, we need Higuita to be part of it. My third player to defeat the zombies, though he has a dubious reputation, has to be Maradona. I mean, think of the 1986 quarterfinal games between England and Argentina. The first goal was scored by God himself. Because Maradona had la mano de Dios. So if you're going to beat some zombies, you need to have God on your side. That's regardless of religion or what you believe, you're not going to throw that out the door. So if I have the headbutt, el escorpión de Higuita, and la mano de Dios de Maradona, we're totally going to get rid of the zombified soccer team. It's inevitable. We'll win. We'll win. Compulsion was my third novel. Freeze Frame my first. Compromise my second. All of the novels have been incredibly different writing them because the process for each has been so different. It never gets any. Okay, I shouldn't say that, but it's true. It's true. Writing a book is so much work, but it's so much love that it's worth it. But the difference between the novels has been pretty astounding. My first novel, Freeze Frame, is sort of your la la novel because you have all this time to write it and you don't really know how bad your first draft is because you've never gone through that incredible revisions process that you do go through when you finally get to an editor. So it's kind of like the fairy tale novel because you have no idea how bad it is until you have to go into revisions. So the second novel, Compromise, was incredibly hard. Everything changed. The pressure was different. Deadlines were different. I didn't have all this time to finish a first draft like I did with Freeze Frame. And so it was incredibly daunting to write my second novel, Compromised, and terrifying. And I was so aware how bad my first draft was, so that was hard too. But then you realize that how cool is this that I get a chance to make it better. But the second novel was tough. It was tough in the sense that it's just intimidating. So Compulsion for me was just a treat. It was really fun to write this novel. It was a lot of work, but I was so excited to be able to write a one line to my agent. I said, Stephen, I really want to write about an anxiety disorder, and I want it to happen over the course of a weekend. And so I figured he'd write me back and say, come on, Heidi, let's talk about this. He just wrote back and said, okay. So it was so exciting to be able to get the green light for something that I had a really vague notion of in my head and then create this character and this novel. So writing all of my novels, each experience has been incredibly different, incredibly challenging, each one, but for different reasons. And Compulsion was just a lot of fun. I didn't have so many kind of weird tweaks in my head. I knew the first draft was going to be bad, but I also knew that I'd get a chance to work with a great editor to help me bring it to what it is today. I think I survived the webcam interview. I particularly loved talking about my Mortal Kombat zombie soccer team. I especially like that it made me sound way more knowledgeable about soccer than I really am. Really, I'm not that knowledgeable. I just live with a soccer guy who loves soccer, so I just kind of suck up his information. Thank you so much for having me, and I would love to hear about your zombie soccer team. We can compare notes. Other than that, Alyssa, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a good evening and a good day, a good week, and I hope you enjoyed Compulsion if you get a chance to pick it up May 3rd. Thanks.